Welcome to my channel, The Eastern Lost Dynasties. Today we are talking about the 5 astonishing mysteries of the Mausoleum of the First Emperor, where legends claim the first emperor's hidden palace lies far from the visible burial mound. Storytellers whisper that it sits deep beneath the southern Lee Mountains, where an ancient altar marks the entrance to his mysterious buried realm. Beneath that altar, a shimmering river of mercury is said to flow through the darkness, winding endlessly toward the emperor's vast subterranean hall. If you ever visit the Mausoleum of Qin on a gloomy, storm-ridden day, do not be frightened. Simply pause for a moment and listen closely. You might hear ghostly underworld guards marching beside that mercury river, their spectral armor clinking in rhythm with faint golden chimes. That metallic sound, people say, signals that the emperor's heavy coffin has finally arrived at the hidden altar deep beneath the mountain. If you truly wish to know where this tale began, travel into the Lee Mountains yourself and follow the old winding paths through the forest. Along the way, buy dried persimmons and pomegranates from local villagers. Perhaps one vendor might quietly whisper this ancient story to you. Mercury rivers, underworld soldiers, and golden bells may sound like folklore, a fantastical legend carved from rumor and imagination over centuries. Yet when archaeologists hurried to investigate the Lee Mountains, even they were shocked by the strange clues and inexplicable findings they encountered. Driven by relentless curiosity, they vowed to explore the mausoleum thoroughly and uncover the truth hidden beneath these ancient tales. Soon, their efforts revealed what would later be called the 5 Wonders, a series of discoveries that changed everything known about the emperor's tomb. It began in 1981, when 3 immense terracotta warrior pits were unearthed at the foot of the Lee Mountains, swiftly earning the name 8th Wonder. But one puzzling mystery remained. Why were these pits so distant from the central tomb, separated by almost 6,000 feet? Their first question was straightforward, yet daunting. Just how massive was this entire mausoleum complex? Later measurements revealed the mound formed a pyramid about 167 feet tall, with a base stretching over 1,148 feet, covering an area comparable to 17 modern football fields placed side by side. Beyond the pyramid mound, archaeologists uncovered 2 concentric walls encircling the site, like layered fortifications guarding the emperor's eternal domain. The inner wall extended roughly 2.36 miles, while the outer wall stretched nearly 3.97 miles around the mausoleum grounds. Together, these walls enclosed an area equal to about 3 forbidden cities, forming one of the largest ancient burial complexes ever constructed. Yet the terracotta pits lay almost a kilometer farther away, so the team continued measuring meticulously, step by step and inch by inch. Eventually, they concluded that the entire mausoleum formed an enormous square, each side stretching approximately 4.66 miles across. Altogether, the site spanned over 56 square kilometers, equivalent to 78 forbidden cities arranged across the land. Placing this square atop a map of Beijing shows it would cover nearly the entire city center, revealing the tomb's unimaginable size. Researchers realized that the Lee Mountains and the nearby Wei River were intentional elements of the burial design, forming the emperor's final treasure vault. Naturally, they wondered if a 9th wonder, greater even than the terracotta army, remained hidden beneath the mysterious mound. Everyone believed the greatest marvel would lie inside the pyramid itself, long rumored to contain the emperor's true resting chamber. There, they imagined, rested the emperor's preserved body, surrounded by riches and secrets untouched for more than 2,000 years. Part 2 of this legend focuses on a single haunting mystery passed down through centuries, the story of 100 tons of mercury. Remarkably, ancient texts echoed these stories, claiming the emperor crafted miniature mountains, rivers, and oceans inside the chamber using flowing mercury. They insisted these silver landscapes flowed endlessly day and night, forming a shifting underworld map of the entire Qin Empire. Could such an unbelievable scene truly exist? archaeologists decided to investigate, soon uncovering what became known as the Second Wonder. Experts announced that at least 100 tons of mercury had been detected beneath the mound, highly concentrated near the suspected chamber. Yet in 1981, China's annual mercury production barely surpassed 300 tons, making these underground measurements seem astonishingly unrealistic. If the first emperor truly used 100 tons over 2 millennia ago, the scale of such an undertaking stretched beyond anything previously imagined. Even the researchers themselves hesitated, unable to confirm such enormous quantities without stronger physical proof and repeated testing. To obtain direct evidence, they launched a drilling survey designed to sample the soil and measure mercury levels deep beneath the mound. Using traditional Luoyang shovels, they bored numerous holes through the earth, retrieving layered soil samples for detailed laboratory analysis. When the results appeared, they showed a startling pattern. Mercury beneath the mound measured dozens of times higher than the surrounding soil. If accurate, this meant the underground mercury had evaporated long ago from a concentrated source hidden deep below the surface. Ancient records supported this, noting that even during the Song dynasty, total annual mercury production reached only about 2,400 pounds. 100 tons equals 220,000 pounds, nearly 90 years of Song-era output devoted solely to constructing an underworld chamber. Taoist alchemists in ancient China already extracted mercury by heating cinnabar above 500 degrees Celsius to condense vapor into shimmering liquid metal. But such extraction required a completely sealed distillation furnace. Without airtight construction, deadly vapor would escape, limiting large-scale production. Crucially, truly airtight furnaces didn't appear until the Song dynasty, meaning Qin engineers lacked the technology needed for mass mercury refinement. How then had the Qin collected what would equal 90 years of later production? This contradiction puzzled experts endlessly. In the Song era, even a few pounds of mercury were considered exceptional rewards, emphasizing how rare and precious the substance truly was. Mercury also served to preserve corpses, allowing royal remains to appear lifelike long after burial due to the metal's potent chemical properties. When Mongol invaders unearthed Emperor Lizong 21 years after burial, they were stunned to find his body still remarkably intact, thanks to mercury preservation. Faced with these contradictions, archaeologists asked a new question. Were the readings from an actual mercury lake, or simply natural soil composition? They knew only future advances in technology could fully reveal the truth behind the so-called underground mercury and its mysterious origin. In 2002, China launched the 863 program, a high-tech initiative aimed at probing archaeological sites like the Qin Mausoleum more accurately. Using remote sensing, ground-penetrating radar, and refined drilling surveys, researchers conducted a large-scale geophysical exploration of the entire region. The results were astonishing. They identified a real underground mercury lake with concentrations highest in the northeast, lowest in the northwest, and moderate to the south. This uneven distribution matched China's geography. The northeast symbolized the sea, the south represented major rivers, and the northwest reflected dry lands. In Qin symbolism, this recreated the empire's mountains and waters in miniature, forming a tiny world beneath the emperor's final resting place. Thus, the records of the grand historian had not exaggerated. Using mercury to form rivers and seas was entirely accurate according to the findings. But the next phrase, describing mercury flowing endlessly between machines, left experts baffled, as if hinting at a device impossible for that era. Since no perpetual motion machine could exist, scholars suggested the phrase referred instead to a copper coffin floating gently atop a vast mercury pool. Mercury's density would indeed allow a copper coffin to float, enabling the emperor's sarcophagus to drift continuously over his miniature metal kingdom. However, radar data showed the mercury lake was massive. Floating a coffin would require at least 1 meter of liquid mercury depth beneath it. At that depth, 100 tons would barely fill a fraction of the lake. Truly floating a coffin would require hundreds of thousands of tons. For comparison, the entire world produced only about 3,700 tons of mercury in 2020, showing how impossible such a quantity would be. Some unverified reports even claimed sensors detected something moving underground, a metallic object drifting slowly, perhaps the emperor's floating coffin. If that were true, another mystery emerged. Where could the emperor have obtained such an impossible amount of mercury in the first place? Historians turned to a single recorded clue: a woman named Widow Qing of Chongqing, uniquely mentioned in the ancient chronicles. Throughout the emperor's life, no concubine besides his mother was named in records, except her, highlighting her rare and significant position. The emperor granted Widow Qing a private army and constructed a memorial hall in her honor, revealing her extraordinary importance within his reign. Yet what he valued most was not Widow Qing herself, but the mercury mine she controlled, which likely supplied his vast subterranean ambitions. This explained the mine's origin, but not the quantity. Whether the emperor gathered 100 tons or enough to fill a lake remained uncertain. If he used only 100 tons, it seemed barely plausible. But if he filled a deep lake, the amount defied every known historical limit. Naturally, this deepened the mystery, prompting some to speculate that otherworldly beings aided him, a tale linked to the alien Huangku legend. But that story belongs elsewhere. The 863 exploration team pressed onward, soon uncovering an even greater wonder beneath the massive mound. The leader of the remote sensing team, Captain Liu, approached Captain Duan of archaeology, claiming they had detected an unusual gravity underground. Liu believed the anomaly indicated a buried structure, but Duan, experienced and cautious, doubted such a possibility after decades of excavating imperial tombs. No record had ever mentioned a structure beneath a burial mound, so the idea felt implausible, and Liu's team began doubting their own findings. 2 days later, Liu returned with updated scans confirming the anomaly was real. A massive, compacted structure lay buried deep below. Duan still resisted belief, but finally agreed to drill into the exact coordinates using Luoyang shovels to verify the discovery directly. The first drill revealed a 6 to 7 centimeter layer of rammed earth, soil compacted by human hands, unmistakable evidence of construction. Intrigued, Duan drilled deeper himself. The compacted layer thickened 60, then 70 centimeters, with no sign of ending. Now convinced something enormous lay beneath, Duan ordered expanded drilling, guided by Liu's gravity scans to map the mysterious structure fully. Then Duan remembered old local legends describing an underground altar. Could the villagers' tales actually contain fragments of truth? The data confirmed it. A massive rammed earth altar stood buried beneath the mound, rising nearly 98 feet above natural ground level. The altar consisted of 9 compacted layers, forming a structure as tall as a 10-story building, yet entirely hidden beneath tons of soil. It matched no known funerary design. Sacrificial halls found elsewhere were always above ground, never buried deep beneath a mound. Such a buried altar could not be for descendants. No one would dig through layers of earth simply to perform rituals. And since a proper sacrificial hall already existed nearby, the buried altar must have served an entirely different and unknown purpose. Suddenly Duan recalled a passage describing the emperor's tomb. Sightseeing and touring in the center of it. A forest grows above it. The second line clearly referred to trees planted atop burial mounds as part of ancient funeral tradition, symbolizing imperial status. Pines were for emperors, cypresses for dukes, golden rain trees for officials, and scholar trees for intellectuals, each planted to mark rank. But the first line, sightseeing and touring in the center, had long puzzled scholars, for who could travel inside a sealed tomb? Only now did it make sense. the emperor's spirit was believed to ascend the underground altar to observe the empire from below. Duan felt a chill as everything connected. They quietly refilled the drill holes, descended the mound, and prepared to test yet another legend. The next legend spoke of 3 springs encountered during construction. Groundwater channels supposedly pierced and sealed with molten metal. Old texts recorded that Prime Minister Li Si reported workers digging so deep into the Li Mountains that they struck an uncuttable, unburnable material. The emperor commanded they move 3,280 feet to the other side, shifting direction rather than digging deeper. Modern scientists believed Li Si dug horizontally toward the mountain's interior, encountering a giant granite block at the mountain's core. This suggested the true burial chamber might be inside the Li Mountains themselves, not directly beneath the mound as long believed. To test the 3 springs legend, archaeologists drilled south of the mound and struck alternating layers of sand at about 130 feet. They found 6 sand layers, 3 thick and coarse, natural groundwater channels acting like massive underground pipes from the Li Mountains. These channels flowed directly above the tomb chamber, proving the workers truly dug through 3 springs, exactly as ancient texts described. The Qin sealed these springs with molten metal, preventing groundwater from flooding the chamber and keeping the underworld perfectly dry. Further excavation revealed a hidden moat, an underground river encircling 3 sides of the tomb, deeper even than the chamber itself. Its inlet matched the 3 water layers, and its outlet diverted the flow away, forming a protective drainage system still functioning today. This system couldn't be built like modern drainage, nor survive earthquakes unless reinforced by brilliant engineering beyond its time. Archaeologists found green paste clay, a highly water-resistant material, layered beneath the chamber, forming the core of an ancient waterproof barrier. Above the clay sat nearly 70 feet of yellow rammed earth, creating a natural dam that forced groundwater to flow around the tomb instead of through it. In essence, the Qin used nature itself as a moat, creating a self-sustaining underground defense system that lasted more than 2,000 years. Yet one puzzle remained, the phrase, "deep to the pole." 98 feet was impressive, but not enough to justify such a description. Earlier, Qin rulers lay 78 and 85 feet deep, so this small difference could not explain the mysterious phrase. Some scholars believed the true chamber might be deliberately offset, a cunning misdirection similar to the quicksand tomb of King Ping of Chu. If so, the emperor may have designed his tomb to confuse robbers for millennia, hiding the real chamber where no one expected. Perhaps the truth will only be revealed when technology finally allows us to explore the underground palace without disturbing its ancient structure. Part 5 shifts focus to another legend, the eternal flame said to burn in the emperor's underworld, fueled by the oil of mythical mermaids. Ancient records described everlasting lamps lit by rare marine oil, a substance supposedly harvested from enormous sea creatures beyond the Eastern Sea. The emperor's alchemist, Xu Fu, claimed he found the elixir of immortality across the sea, but was blocked by a massive shark-like beast. That night, the emperor dreamt of confronting the Lord of the Sea, a vision interpreted as a command to destroy the creature guarding the elixir. He sent a fleet equipped with giant ballistae. Upon reaching Jifu, they spotted the colossal beast and killed it with explosive bolts. Historians long dismissed this as myth, claiming the Qin lacked the means to hunt whales or produce eternal flames from marine oil. But the 2002 discovery of Qin bamboo, slips in Lia, included a report describing a real expedition to hunt a giant sea creature. This proved the Qin could indeed hunt whales, meaning the eternal flame may have been fueled by spermaceti, the waxy oil of sperm whales. Scientists calculated that 2 cubic meters of spermaceti could fuel a flame for nearly 30 years, suggesting a long-lasting illumination method. To keep a flame alive for 3,000 years, roughly 200 cubic meters were needed, the oil of about 200 sperm whales. Before petroleum, Humans harvested spermaceti extensively. Historical records noted annual yields reaching tens of millions of barrels in some regions. Thus, to the powerful Qin Empire, killing 200 whales might not have been an impossible task during massive ocean expeditions. Yet another question lingered. How could an eternal flame survive without a steady oxygen supply inside a sealed underground chamber? Ancient records mentioned luminous pearls capable of lighting 12 carriages. Perhaps such pearls helped illuminate the underground palace. If these pearls truly existed, the emperor may have placed them beside the eternal flame, allowing the chamber to remain lit even now. Among the rumored wonders of the tomb were the 9 cauldrons, legendary artifacts said to represent all the mountains and seas of China. The cauldrons disappeared when the Zhou dynasty fell, leading some to believe the first emperor seized them and sealed them within his tomb. Other tales claimed officials secretly copied banned books during the emperor's burning of texts, storing them in royal archives for safekeeping. Those archives later burned in Xiang Yu's fires, causing priceless ancient works to vanish forever. But some believed copies survived in the tomb. If even one lost text, like the classic of mountains and seas, or the outer canon of the Yellow Emperor, lies below, it would be history's greatest discovery. Another marvel, the Golden Goose, was said to be a lifelike metallic construct that once flew out of the tomb and survived for centuries above ground. A Three Kingdoms official recognized inscriptions on the goose, identifying it as a funerary item from the emperor's tomb, confirming its origin. This raised the question, had the tomb already been breached in ancient times? Some argued it had been plundered and recovered later. Song dynasty documents noted that many royal tombs were restored, including the first emperors, suggesting it may have been exposed earlier. The first written claim of robbery came from Liu Bang, who accused Xiang Yu of burning Epang Palace and looting the emperor's tomb. But Liu Bang was a skilled rhetorician. Historians believed he may have exaggerated to gain moral advantage during conflict. Han Shu later claimed Xiang Yu only burned outer pits and stole surface treasures, never reaching the underground palace itself. Another tale spoke of a shepherd who found a crack leading into a glittering underground palace, but accidentally burned it by dropping his torch. Centuries later, Li Daoyuan claimed Xiang Yu dug with 30,000 men for 30 days, hauling treasures yet still failing to empty the tomb. Such increasingly detailed stories were considered unreliable. The more elaborate a tale grew, the less trustworthy it became to modern experts. Evidence suggested only outer pits were damaged, acrobat figures shattered, armor scorched, but the central tomb remained untouched. Only 2 narrow robber shafts were ever found, each less than a meter wide and far from the chamber, proving no major breach occurred. Thus, the underground palace stayed intact, sealed, dry and waiting, its secrets undisturbed for more than 2,000 years. Perhaps one day, when perfect non-invasive technology exists, we will finally glimpse the true chamber without disturbing the ancient tomb. Until then, we rely on legends, fragments, and archaeological clues to imagine what wonders might lie beneath the earth. For now, we can only study the marvels already uncovered, the warriors, the relics, the countless pits that shaped our understanding of this empire. One dynasty buried, another legend uncovered. You're watching the Eastern Lost Dynasties. Until the next excavation,